Welcome to USA Old Coins, the home of rare discoveries and hidden coin secrets. Today, we're talking about the Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary, but inside it hides a mystery that could forever change the way you see your old coins. Stay till the end, because sometimes an ordinary Lincoln penny can turn out to be a rare treasure. And if you truly want to uncover the hidden secrets behind valuable old coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another rare discovery. The 1983 Lincoln penny might look like an ordinary 1-cent coin, but in reality, it hides one of the most fascinating secrets in American coin history. Until 1982, all 1-cent coins in the United States were made of 95% pure copper. But when copper prices skyrocketed, the U.S. Mint decided to switch, replacing copper with a much cheaper metal, zinc, and covering it with a thin layer of copper just to keep the same appearance. This change officially took effect in 1983. However, something extraordinary happened inside the mint that year, something no one expected. Some of the old copper blanks from 1982 accidentally remained inside the coining presses and got mixed in with the new zinc blankets. As a result, a handful of 1983 pennies were struck on pure copper instead of zinc. This was a minting mistake so rare that no one realized it for years, until collectors began discovering 1983 pennies that weighed 3.1 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams. That small difference turned an ordinary penny into a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. In the world of numismatics, this mistake became a lasting mystery. Some experts believe it was a genuine accident, while others suspect someone inside the mint may have used those leftover copper blanks on purpose as an experiment. Adding to the intrigue, a few 1983 pennies were found with double die errors, where the letters and numbers appear slightly doubled, making them even more valuable. One such 1983 double die penny sold for over $18,000, while an authentic 1983 copper penny has fetched between $20,000 and $50,000 at auction. And if a perfectly preserved, mint condition example ever surfaces, experts say it could sell for $100,000 or more. What's even more mysterious is that no one knows exactly how many of these copper 1983 pennies exist. Some believe there are only a few, others think maybe a dozen, but no official count has ever been confirmed. What's certain is that something unusual happened inside the mint that year. So if you have a 1983 Lincoln penny lying around, don't spend it. Grab a small scale and check the weight. If it reads around 3.1 grams, you might be holding a coin worth a fortune. Because sometimes, history decides which coin becomes a treasure, and which one remains just a penny. Now let's talk about the 1994 Lincoln penny. A coin that, at first glance, looks completely ordinary, but in reality, hides a few secrets that most collectors have no idea about. At this point in history, the United States had already switched from copper to zinc blankets more than a decade earlier. By 1994, every Lincoln cent was supposed to be made from 97.5% zinc with a thin outer layer of copper. But as always, mistakes happen. And sometimes those mistakes create legends in the world of coins. During the production of the 1994 pennies, a few rare errors occurred that turned simple 1-cent coins into valuable collectibles. The most famous of these is the 1994 double die obverse penny, where Lincoln's portrait, the words Liberty, and sometimes even the date appear slightly doubled under magnification. This doubling happened because of a misalignment during the hubbing process. When the die that strikes the coin was impressed twice, but not perfectly aligned the second time. To most people, it looks like a normal penny, but to a sharp-eyed collector, that doubling can mean a serious payday, depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition. A 1994 double die penny can sell anywhere between $100 and $500, and some verified strong examples have reached $1,000 or more in auction. Another variety that grabs attention is the 1994 penny with wide AM reverse, a rare error where the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the back of the coin is noticeably wider than normal, while most 1994 pennies show the letters almost touching. The wide AM version came from a die that was mistakenly meant for proof coins. Only a small number of these were struck for circulation, and if you find one, its value can range from $200 to $3,000 depending on the grade and mint mark. Speaking of mint marks, the 1994 Lincoln penny struck at the Denver Mint also has its own minor varieties, including weakly struck mint marks or small planchette imperfections. While these aren't as valuable as the double die or wide AM errors, high-grade uncirculated examples in MS68 or better can still sell for $200 to $500 among serious collectors. So next time you see a 1994 penny lying around, don't ignore it. Take a closer look at the letters, the date, and especially the reverse side, because you might be holding a coin that looks ordinary to everyone else, but secretly carries a hidden fortune. Because sometimes, even a small 1-cent coin has a story that's worth thousands of dollars. Now let's move on to the 1995 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks simple at first, yet hides one of the most famous modern errors in US coin history. To most people, it's just another penny you'd find in your change. But to collectors, the 1995 penny is a true symbol of how a tiny mistake can turn a common coin into a valuable treasure. In 1995, the US Mint was producing billions of pennies at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Everything was automated, precise, and efficient. But even with advanced machinery, a few dies were misaligned during the hubbing process. And that's when one of the most popular modern coin errors was born. The 1995 double die obverse Lincoln penny. If you look closely at this coin, you'll notice strong doubling on the word liberty, and especially on "In God We Trust." The letters appear slightly shifted and thicker, a clear sign that the design was struck twice, but not in perfect alignment. This doubling is so distinct that even without a magnifying glass, some collectors can spot it with the naked eye. When it was first discovered, the 1995 double die penny created a wave of excitement among collectors. Coin magazines featured it, and the demand skyrocketed. People started checking their pocket change everywhere across the country. At the time, some examples were selling for $200 to $300, even in circulated condition. Today, most 1995 double die pennies have already been found and collected, but their value still remains impressive. A well-preserved uncirculated piece can sell for $100 to $250, while high-grade certified examples in MS67 or MS68 have been known to fetch $500 to $1,000 to $100 at auction. There's also the 1995 penny, struck at the Denver Mint, which doesn't show the strong doubling but still holds collector interest when found in pristine, red uncirculated condition. And just like many other Lincoln cents from the 90s, those with flawless surfaces and bright luster can bring premium prices far above face value. So the next time you find a 1995 penny, don't overlook it. Take a close look at the word liberty and "In God We Trust." If you spot even a hint of doubling, you might be looking at one of the most famous modern era coins ever made. Because sometimes one tiny mistake from the mint can turn a simple 1-cent coin into a piece of American history worth hundreds of dollars. Now let's continue our journey to the 1997 Lincoln penny, a coin that many people overlook, yet it carries a few hidden varieties and striking details that serious collectors never ignore. At first glance, the 1997 penny looks just like any other modern Lincoln cent, but once again, small minting variations and rare, high-grade examples have made this year surprisingly interesting in the world of numismatics. By 1997, the US Mint had been producing zinc-based pennies for nearly 15 years, each weighing about 2.5 grams with a thin copper coating. But despite improved technology and tighter quality control, errors and special die varieties continued to slip through the cracks. And that's exactly what makes the 1997 Lincoln penny worth a closer look. The most well-known collectible from this year is the 1997 double die obverse penny. while not as dramatic as the famous 1995 version. Some 1997 pennies show light doubling on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Under magnification, you can see faint shadow-like lines around the letters, a subtle sign of a double die strike. These coins are considered rare, and depending on their condition, can sell anywhere between $50 and $300, with the strongest examples fetching even higher prices. Another small but interesting variety is found in the 1997 penny, minted in Denver. Some coins from this batch show minor die cracks, weak strikes, or plating bubbles, all signs of slight imperfections during production. While these aren't official errors, collectors often pay attention to them, especially when they appear in coins that are still bright red and in near-perfect mint state condition. But here's where it gets even more exciting. A few 1997 pennies have been discovered with what collectors call B errors. This happens when a tiny die break forms between the letters B and E in the word liberty, creating what looks like a small I between them. These quirky little errors are fun to find and can sell for $10 to $50 depending on clarity and grade. And when it comes to pristine condition, the 1997 Lincoln penny truly shines. In ordinary circulated condition, it's worth just a cent, but in MS68 red, this coin can reach auction values of $300 to $600, and in rare cases, certified examples have sold for over $1,000. So, if you ever come across a 1997 penny, take a second look. Check the lettering, inspect for small cracks, or that famous little B line, because even a coin that seems ordinary today could secretly be hiding collector value tomorrow. Sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't the ones that stand out. They're the ones hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice.